Singles event, and here's why I think we're doomed to be single for the rest of our lives. That was a bit dramatic, but let me tell my story. So I went to singles night at Union Church's Charlotte campus. Now, I don't go to that church, but I started following Pastor Stephen since he was a guest pastor at my church earlier this month. And when I found out that he was writing a book on dating and relationships, I was interested because, listen, your girl could use some divine intervention in that area. But I'll be honest, I didn't want to go at first. I figured it's a Christian singles event. There's going to be 50, 11 women there and like two men. Plus, they were advertising it as a conversation that you wouldn't expect to have at church. And I thought, I've heard enough of those modern dating and relationship podcasts. I don't need to hear any more, especially not with a biblical spin. Instead of having meaningful conversations about finding and building Christ-centered relationships, the event was a Q&A about superficial stuff, like mostly whether to settle for someone who does not earn six figures. Like that seemed to be the hot topic of the night. People were asking that same question over and over again. And honestly, all that I took from it was that we're focused on the wrong things. You know, as Christians, we're called to be set apart. We're supposed to focus on things like love and faith and character, but we're focused on the same worldly things as everybody else. Money, status, height. It just feels like we're missing the point when it comes to dating entirely. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that finances don't matter. I think it matters when you're building a life with someone, but we're not even at that level.
I'm gonna stop it there because that has been a topic of discussion as far as the churches and the leaders in the church seem to be focusing on trendy things and clout chasing, and it seems to be a difference when it comes to people even having respect for the church. People have turned their heads because it seems like it's all for money, and now we are just seeing people out there. What are your thoughts about the topics that's being discussed? Do you think the church has changed? And
I could give y'all a history lesson.
go ahead.
The church started out wrong. Okay, we can start in the Christian Crusades. We can go far back, but I'm gonna just tell you this: it's a control mechanism. Okay, some people have their hearts in the right places, like the church under the bridge down the road from my house. It's literally under a bridge outside, but collection plates are going around 3 times, and what did people expect? Like I don't. We just there was uh a mass decision to put us in last place in the economic stance. There was a mass decision to make us all Christian. It is in the history books. Okay, whether you're Christian or not, I'm not pissing on the fact that you are. But what I'm saying is, what do we expect from our community where the whole foundation of Christianity started with force and money that they wouldn't let us touch, and that we had to wear white gloves to collect the white man's money. I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's not the start of it though, Cookie.
I get it. I know where you're going back, further back. But I'm saying when they commercialized it, that doesn't mean that the message didn't get spread the wrong way. I mean, and that's just what it is. Me and these niggas in Gucci suits and helicopters. Like, what do you expect them to say at a singles event? I just don't. I don't know why people so surprised, especially the Christians that go there every Sunday to get doomed to hell.
Go ahead, Shan.
I don't think that I said that I think that's unfair. I don't think that that's most churches. I just think those are the churches that we focus on, right? The big mega churches. Everybody wants to be a part because they're telling you everything you want to hear, and they focus on money and getting your bag up and everything that's popular. But there's still some small churches that are about, Christian. They don't care about all that. Like I said, I have a church I go to. He'll pray for you any time of the night. Mistaken used to go there. Um, he'll pray for you, and he just lives. I mean, you can tell his life is about the Lord. It's me to call you out mistake, but I'm just saying I ain't seen you in a while. You know, it is.
My mama said the same thing when she came over yesterday.
Yeah, because your whole family used to, right. But anyway, these people, I mean, they talk against gambling, they talk against, you know, they are some, and they like go overseas and do it. Like they live by the word, they embrace the word, and you know, so all I'm saying is that's not every church, but I do agree that a lot of people, especially new school, they focus on mega church, getting the money and using the money, buying helicopters, all these extravagant gifts. Meanwhile, when there's a natural disaster, they don't even open the doors of the church. What was that in Texas? Don't even open the doors of the church
Joel down
to help people. And I'm like, what? Y'all remember that?
Bruh. Joel.
That big old church, and you wouldn't even let people in who are drowning outside. Like it was crazy.
I wouldn't let you Negroes in either.
Well, so we talked about this last weekend. I think men as a whole arguably aren't in the church as is, right? And on top of that, most of the men that are in the church, they already cuffed. You know, they already cuffed up with somebody. Me and JR, we was talking about this the other day, and I think he mentioned this as well on the last show. But I personally don't know too many men that are single. Most of the men that I know, they're already cuffed up. So I think to Cookie's point, as well, the men that are single, me personally, while I was single, I would personally never go to a singles event. I'll never go on a dating app. That's just not my vibe. To me, that does come off a bit desperate, but you know, to each his own. You know, some people they just move differently. They don't feel comfortable enough going out to just randomly speaking to a person in public, right? It's easier for them to do it on the app or at a singles place event. So I think that those two are factors. On top of, most men are afraid of approaching women. I mean, that's another point too. So they're scared of being rejected, especially at a singles event when it'll be clear that you're being rejected. You know, because that's even more of a punch to their ego, right? So I think it's kind of one of those deals of where, you know, you damn near got to pick your poison, I guess.
All right, let me play a little bit more of this next clip.
To a Christian